Hello, good morning, and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay on this it's a nice morning. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm. Okay, so like, share, subscribe, comment. When you comment, it helps the video in the algorithm. Okay. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell and hit all so that you can be notified each and every time I drop a video or I go live. So hit all when you click the bell. Okay. I'm up this morning pretty early. I'm always up early, drinking hot tea, ginger tea and lemon. Of course, it's a beautiful morning. It really is. I wanted to talk about why Stray Drop decided not to testify. And of course, this is my opinion, but it's got some facts in it, okay? It has facts in it. And I think this may be the main reason. Shout out to my subs, because when um my subs have been absolutely great with when I, finding information or they see something online, they hurry up and send it to me and they always have valid points and facts, okay? But of course, this is a factual situation with Straight Drop, why he probably decided not to testify. Number one, let's just say this. I mean, you got a man who is admitting to having the Draco and hitting young Dolph and saying that you were with him. So how are you gonna come back from that? Even the judge said yesterday the defense, I mean, that the prosecutors have done um they did their job in proving that it was him. Did they have any facts to disprove? Did they have anything, any proof to disprove that it was him? So she basically said it yesterday, right? So at that point, we already know that he was cooked, but the defense, I mean, the prosecutors came out swinging. They won. They rested, I do believe, on yesterday. I don't know if it's the defense time to present their rebuttal, but the prosecutors have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. The defense's job is pretty easy. The defense has to do is just raise reasonable doubt, just raise reasonable doubt. And I think that's what Straight Drop's attorney is trying to do, and may have been able to raise reasonable doubt until you had Cornelius to come in there and say, "No, this is us. This was me. I know I'm going to jail, and this is the person that sat right beside me and was with me when we did this." Right? They were able to prove he had on the same clothing back going to his apartment. Getting the video from his apartment and all of that. Now I these dudes, what they did, it was just bad. For $800, you kill a multi-million-dollar man for $800, and in hopes of a record deal that Straight Drop never got. I do believe he got more money, but he was really wanting that record deal. He never got that, and never will. But also, after Straight Drop went to jail, of course, his daughter's mom, okay, is now dating a young man that is and has a new baby with a young man that is heavy camp, right? That is up under Black Youngsters label. Now, Black Youngsters name has come up in this a whole lot. I believe that there is some things going on with that. I do believe that he was heavily involved, and I think that that is being dealt with at this point, right? Because we did learn that Cornelius is working with the federal government, which means that there's another case, a federal case that is going on. And I believe that's when all of the other names will come up of the people who paid, who was involved, that really had the money, right? And so now Straight Jobs Child's mother is has a baby with the heavy camp guy. And just like one of my subscribers said, Great Face, he said, well, you have to understand, they were able to reel his baby's mom in with money. So now his child is up under the care of a heavy camp guy, which is Black Youngsters Label. And they had already been going back and forth while Straight Drop was in jail, him and this guy. And so with his daughter being up under his care, Listen, the streets don't play fair. So that's a good way to keep him quiet because that's probably all he has now that has really stayed loyal to him is his mother and his daughter, right? Everybody else switched up on him, and that was the plan, anyways. I really believe that Shondell Barnett saved his life when he called the police to let the police know where they were at. Hey, I believe that Shondell Barnett was the one that notified the police of where they were, right? Because I'm told by a very credible source that the when the feds got there when they were in Indiana, they staked outside of the hotel. They didn't go and bust in the hotel. They got there and they just staked outside and waited for them to go to the gas station, right? So how did they ever know that they were going to stop at the gas station, right? So unless the person had notified them of all of what their moves was going to be, and that's when they took him down at the gas station. Remember when he was on the run, that's when they were arrested. And then all of a sudden they claimed that Shondell Barnett was mistakenly let free. I've worked overtime and released a lot. I know there's a lot of paperwork and communication that has to be back and forth when there's an outside agency. So I know he was not just released. He was not just released by mistake with an ankle monitor on. He didn't have an ankle monitor on when they got him, but when they released him by mistake, he had on an ankle monitor. Okay, that's weird within itself, right? Okay, so I believe that when he got to Indiana, they was gonna go ahead and just take him out, straight drop out, because he probably would have been the more bullheaded one. They looked at Cornelius as being a crackhead and just put everything on Cornelius, right? Because they had never planned on paying him, okay? But because what they did was so evil, everything was just wrong from day one. But I truly believe that he is not testifying because his child is up under, the care of a heavy camp affiliate. And hey, Great Face said, the streets don't pay play fair. And he's probably afraid because now people know where his mom and his sister lives, but I think it's more so, his child, right? He does not want anything to happen to his child. So that's a way to keep a person quiet. Although, at least in public, okay, at least publicly, because I mean, he could start working with the feds at any time, and okay, for some reason, I feel like quietly that he probably already is or will because they did him dirty too. But they did young Dolph dirty. Okay. They all did young Dolph dirty, and that karma started spinning. Okay. I remember the night that young Dolph was hit. It actually was a earthquake in Missouri. Some parts of Missouri, like outside of St. Louis. St. Louis is 3.5 hours from Memphis, but it could be felt the shake could be felt in Memphis because I remember sitting at home on my couch and my couch shook. Right, I thought somebody was beating on my door, but my couch shook. But it was an earthquake in Missouri that could be felt all the way in Memphis. Right, it was just really weird. I know people say one thing has nothing to do with another, but the way they did that young man was just dirty. And I get to thinking about, why was there a bag on every artist's head? I saw this is what I see. I saw like Yo Gotti was not that big of an artist or CEO before Young Dolph was taken out. I believe there was an urgency and they were all in cahoots so that they could go up. I just I don't know if there were other people involved. I do believe Yo Gotti was involved, but they after that shortly after that he got that $100 million loan. He was able to start signing a lot of other artists. Because before that he had been around Jay-Z, but he was not Jay-Z wasn't fooling with him just like that, but it seems like after Young Dolph was taken out, he just really, really, really started going up. And I really believe that, they said they was on their way over to Westwood. They had a tag on everybody's head. Okay. They was on their way over to Westwood to take out innocent people because that's what was gonna happen, and try and hit Jay Fizzle. Of course, I believe those dudes in Westwood would have fired them up. Okay, they was gonna air the car out. Nobody else wanted to go over to Westwood, which is why they got a crackhead, right? But I believe there was a tag on all of Young Dolph's artist's head. Number one, there was a rumor that he and Key Glock had gotten into it in the airport. But I do know, even after Young Dolph was taken out, I had a law enforcement friend of mine to tell me that was they was still they had gotten intel that there was a plot to still take Key Glock out, and I believe that's because people Key Glock was closer to Young Dolph. It could have been because of the alleged um fight or whatever Key Glock and Big Jook had in the airport, where allegedly Key Glock spit in his face because Big Jook and them were messing with him in the airport, and this was right before Dolph was taken out. Or it could have been because people were looking to Key Glock because he had been, up under Dolph a whole lot, doing tapes with Dolph. People started looking to him to see, to not to take Young Dolph's place, but to lead. You know what I mean? People were saying he would be the next best thing or whatever, and I think that they feared that. But I truly believe, as far as the other artists, if they started hitting up Young Dolph's artists, that would make the label defunct, because that's what they was after. They wanted that label to be defunct. They wanted to destroy what he had going on. They started hitting his artists, that would make Young Dolph leave the game altogether, and Yo Gotti, uh, in their minds, would be the biggest label in Memphis. That's what I believe. Okay, that's what I believe. It all comes down to jealousy. There was no reason for them to have a tag on everybody's head, right? And there is no way in this world that they would ever make me believe that Yo Gotti didn't know. Uh, Hours before Young Dolph was taken out, Yo Gotti had posted, I don't know if people still have it. And I know people say one thing has nothing to do with another. He posted, "I have a question." That's it. I have a question. Okay. Um, Straight Dropping them had an urgency that day. Why did they have a urgency that day? Because I remember Yo Gotti and them were out of town in Miami with a birthday, having a birthday party for their mother. Now, Moneybag Yo, that night, Moneybag Yo, Big Jook, and Yo got it all on a picture together, so that they and posted the night that Young Dolph was taken out. That's so that they could have an alibi of where they were, right? Um, I don't ever remember seeing Moneybag Yo at another party since then. I ain't saying he haven't. I just don't remember. But they were all out of town, and there was an urgency to do it that week, because they had planned for them to do it that week because of the turkey drive, and because they were all out of town. They would all have an alibi, right? The only person that was placed in Memphis at the time by a bystander and by an insurance agent was Black Youngster, right? So it's going to be extremely interesting to see how that works out. But I truly believe that's why Straight Drop is not testifying, because he knows he has his daughter out there, and his baby's mother is now living with and has a baby with a heavy camp member or affiliate, and his child, which means his child is in that household. And like Grayface said, the streets don't play fair. So now that's all he really got. Everybody else, turned on him basically to save themselves, right? And I'm not mad at him. Hey, save yourself. His brother, who says that he has full custody of his child at this point, who he made an accessory after the fact. I could tell when he got up on the stand the other day, he hated to, looking at his brother, and seeing what he is posting now, because now he's starting to post. So I guess now he's free, right? Maybe they threw his sentence out or something like that, because he was, talking about ain't nobody gonna play with him, blah blah blah. And then he posts an F Dolph. Okay, don't be texting me talking about I did the stand up thing, F y'all and F Young Dolph or something like that. So I guess he was in his feelings because he had to testify against his brother, because his brother actually gave him his car, because he knew he didn't have a car or something, and he knew he was getting ready to go on the run or something like that. And of course, he wanted to trick his probation officer and all of that. So, like I said, this right here is really, it's sad on a whole nother level. And just seeing Straight Drop sitting in court in a fetal position. Now, it's easy for it to pull on certain people's heartstrings, although they did to the ultimate, because they were sent out by older dudes in hopes of fame. They knew these guys didn't really have anything. And that was not the way to do it. And for money, they was tricked because they was never intended. I don't believe Straight Drop was ever going to be the next big CMG artist, although they had told him that in order for him to be the next big CMG artist, wouldn't God have to approve that? Wouldn't he have to? Because see, if you notice, the prosecutor is putting a lot of emphasis on Big Jook was the number two man. So that's telling you that there is a number one man that is over Big Jook, right? So I see how they're setting it up. There's somebody, there's a number one man, the number two man was involved, but he's number two. Okay. Straight Drop was going to be the next big CMG artist when the number one man have to approve it. Okay. So, hey, like I said, I hate all of this stuff happened. They took that man life. Um, the people been talking about that song, Talking to My Scale, and it's something because they claim they just happened to see him, and they were out looking for him. Maybe somebody had told him because CMG had people from his label that had grown up in Castelia. So maybe somebody told them at that time that he was, roaming the area, right? But they was on their way to Westwood to shoot up the Turkey Drive and take out what the Cornelius was stoned out of his mind, just a junkified junk. Okay, just a junkified junkie. Y'all see how he was doing that, holding that Draco. So he was gonna go and spray up a whole lot of innocent people, right? And it just so happens that Young Dolph, they claim they just saw Young Dolph, and so people kind of thinking about that song. He says, "If I sacrifice myself," I don't know. I don't know, but if they had not gotten him, they was on their way over there to Westwood to try and hit up Jay Fizzle, his first cousin, you know, which is just really sad on so many levels that people can be so jealous and stoop to anything and do anything for some money. It's really sad, okay? But I believe that's the reason why Straight Drop won't testify. I believe that because at least publicly, okay. That's because I don't really believe that he's going to. I believe he's going to get a lot of years, but I believe at some point, especially since we know that there's some other investigation going on. Um, I think this thing might end up being like a what's that guy name that was from out of New York? Um, I can't think of his name right now. I think it might end up being like that for Straight Drop. He gonna tell on a lot of people because they've implicated him. He gonna have to because they've implicated him in a lot of, well, I won't say in a lot of, I'm getting beside myself. At least two more felonies. Um, Paul Hagerman said it that somebody has implicated him. What they was not going to talk about it in two other felonies where people were hurt, and that Mr. Johnson was directly responsible for it. Okay, but he told the judge that that would not be brought up in this case. Okay, so it's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, it's a lot of stuff going on. So just like he was doing all those crimes, somebody was paying him to do them. Because remember now, on his page before he went on the run, he had that he was a hired hitman. I don't know why this young man wanted to mess his life like that. And a bunch of older men helped him to crash on out because they felt like he already crashing out. Right. It's sad on a whole nother level that they got to spend the rest of their lives in jail. Young Dolph has to spend the rest of his life in the grave for $800. But no, even if they had paid 1 million, it still would not have been worth it. Being all of the intelligence and knowledge and all of that Young Dolph had, he was way more valuable to this world, especially these young artists, right? Anyways, you guys, I just wanted to talk about that, okay? I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App.